Yes! We are live on the internet, straight from Nodad Stockholm. Are you in Aarhus? Yeah.
No, we're in Copenhagen.
You're in Copenhagen?
At the possible new burner headquarters at something called Grønttorvet, which is
That sounds
amazing. Buildings. It's great.
Amazing. Okay, let's get started with the Borderland Annual General Meeting 2016.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. So first of all, Brooks would like to say grace. That's
He's stuck.
he's stuck in Iceland, so yeah, just feel his grace. Yep. Okay. Meeting. What's called like eligibility. Eligible.
Yes, meeting eligibility.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to have this meeting? Do we have permission from ourselves to have this meeting?
Invitation to the meeting was sent out via email on November 5th. It was also announced on the Borderland. Yes.
Yes. Anyone against that?
Okay. Then there's who's present in the meeting, and you can just like add your names to that list by co-creating the agenda. Third point on the agenda is election of the meeting chair. And
Want to do it?
is everyone okay with me chairing the meeting?
Yep.
Okay. Then we need to elect the meeting secretary. Who would like to take notes for this meeting? And they need to be a little bit formal, not super formal, but a little bit formal. Do we have any suggestions, or shall we co-create them and make sure that they look nice?
We only have one computer here, so it's difficult for us both to see what's going on and write at the same time. It would be great.
It was not done very well last year, which means that we didn't get some of the decisions, and we actually had to go back and video stream and figure out what we actually decided. So I'd really like them to be better this year. But my computer is there, so I can't do it.
We can
co-create it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll co-create the meeting.
The end-all solution to not having to take responsibility for it.
Yeah. Let's say that the meeting secretary are Matthias and Hampus, but this also means that these notes needs to be then signed afterwards, and that process needs to be handled. Yeah. Yeah.
It would be good to know how many things we're going to vote on. The election of the new board.
May I use this document to transform it from the agenda into the minutes?
We can co-create the...
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the agenda that's turning into the minutes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So...
Okay, good. Okay. Election of two persons who would like to verify the minutes. Do we have any volunteers who would like to verify the minutes? We have Christoph Bram here, and do we have anyone in Copenhagen? We see you very badly. We mainly see ourselves when we speak, so just shout out. So
Ida.
I can do it.
Yeah, perfect.
I can do it. Not so long.
What?
Last name, Ida. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Next agenda item is closing of business for last year. And then we go into the board's activity report for last year. And you have a link there that you can click on. Okay, so I will just read out the annual report for the Borderland year starting at 2016 1st of January to 2016 end of September. And there are details why the year closes at the end of September, but let's not go into those now, I would suggest. Yeah? Okay, so the annual report of the year goes as follows. During the year, the association has organized the festival, the Borderland, in Bohuslän.
Sorry, you see, just a second, we can't get the link to work.
You didn't have the whole link?
Maybe we can, if I'm more clever.
There's also... Yeah.
Oh,
What's not working?
You have the link now in your Facebook feed as well, but I think I can just read it out while you get it working, and it's quite brief.
we have it.
Okay. During the year, the association has organized the festival, the Borderland, in Bohuslän Limestone Quarry, 1 hour south of Copenhagen in Denmark. Almost 1,000 people attended from 16 different countries. The association has met and held meetings over the internet and at the node. Many new commitments have joined the association. I don't think so.
We understand you.
Yeah, have joined the association, and the Facebook group now has over 5,000 members. The collaboration with Bohuslän Association around the Borderlands has been successful, so we intend to host the event there during 2017. During the Borderland 2016, a death occurred. The organization structure at the location at the time handled the emergency, including contact with the healthcare, government, media, and family. A long-term response to support concerned groups were established, and an evaluation of the festival security work has been carried out. Recommendations will be included in the work plan and executed at the Borderland 2017. A decision to move to a teal organizational structure has been taken, and the second weekend in December, a startup meeting for that process will take place. Members of the Borderland will be involved during the Burning Man European Leadership Summit and the Burning Man Week in early March 2017 and share experiences from the Borderland 2016. Is there anything else you would like to add here? No, okay. Great, then we move on to the financial report from last year. I would like to hand over to Hampus.
Yes, I'm setting up a vote here, so just give me a second.
There's also a link to the financial thing that you can have a look at, the income statement.
Yeah, so I've just put together this income statement and balance sheet. It's currently in the format of covering the whole year, so it does not follow the fiscal year that we have now, that Isidore mentioned. Our fiscal year runs from the 1st of October to the 30th of September. But for clarity, I've made this now so it makes more sense. Like it includes all the costs related to this year's Borderland. I can post this document maybe.
It's posted.
It's posted.
Yeah, everything's posted.
Great. So I don't know how much details we should go into here, but starting from the top, you see our source of income, which were the membership fees, 680,000 more or less. We also had the voluntary parking fees at Bohuslän, and they raised, as you can see, 5,690. Then moving on, we have the expenses, the operating expenses. think they're pretty self-explanatory there. They basically follow more or less a linear pattern, I would say. Like porta potties, more than double, acoustic grid. Leads went up slightly. I think it was 14 double.
Yeah.
Water tank rental, that was a big increase in expense. And as well, the container costs. That's an, we go into that maybe later if someone's interested in details, but there's a reason for that being quite high. What else? Yeah, parking space rental was a new cost. We rented the parking space from the neighbor, 12,840 kronor. Yeah. I don't think we need to like go through that. If you're interested in seeing the specifics for the Dream grants, there's a separate document for all the payouts to the public. What else? There was we paid damages to the neighbor. So that post is 5,290 kronor for like the destroyed garden chairs and and we have been in touch with them, both Jan and I, and we've been very clear that it's not our participants that do this. Like everything points to the fact that it's like local teams that we're not allowed in, and they went there.
Hampus, can you talk into the computer, please?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I can move a bit closer.
Great.
What else? Okay, so you have the balance sheet. Now the assets, that states what we have on our bank account from the Monday now. And there's the Proster Continuegate loan. It's what different team camps actually owe money to Borderland as a result of the new container that Christian and others bought. Yeah, I think that's...
A question, what about Biglietto, or the system? It's like Speed Ledger here.
Speed Ledger is accounting software.
Okay, but what about the actual team system?
That's deducted from
Okay.
the sum paid out.
Okay.
So that's
Cool.
never came into the account.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, any questions regarding this? We have Zach as our auditor.
I have a question. Porta potties seems the largest amount of money, chunk of money that we're giving out. Would it be an idea that we give an extra effort next year to see if we can find a cheaper solution?
I think it's that we have
already done that, or like it seemed that we kind of just went ahead with the normal procedure. I think it'd just be great to look into that.
I can give a comment on that, and porta potties is actually one of the costs that increase more than linear, and it's also expected to increase more than linear going bigger. So I think it's a great idea to see if we can find and come up with better solutions. I think it could be better solutions from both convenient point of view and from an art point of view, but also from a cost point of view. So I think it's a good comment.
I also expect like a cost associated with fire to raise for next year, because like this year we didn't have anyone with actual proper suits to be able to go into the fire and pick someone out of the fire if they would have come in. So that will be a big cost for next year.
Are we going to see a budget for next year, or do we comment on budget now, as we kind of started to do?
Sorry, come again?
Are we going to see a budget for next year, or are we just commenting on budgets as we do now?
We're not gonna. No, the next year's budget doesn't really exist. So
Okay, cool. Then I have another question.
Yeah.
The electric grid also seems like a lot of money. Would it be interesting to consider if we should invest in cables? Like
Yeah.
Next year, you could reduce costs. Probably. I think that's the point you're really making. Yeah. You need help
Like
with putting the up on the hill.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
help
either
you.
reduce or actually buy some like long-term strategy. I don't think we should
Elevators for the Royal Flush.
just.
So what was the other question on power?
Are you asking, or I didn't hear you well?
Yeah, I heard you say something on power.
Oh yeah, two things. It could be interesting to see if we can do that cheaper also, and it could also be interesting to look into if it, like long-term strategy-wise, would be interesting to consider actually buying a grid or part of a grid.
To buy something? Or?
Yeah, acquire. Yeah.
So we looked at that. So previous years, we've been really lucky with the price because I managed to get it from a friend, Ola, who was at the Borderland in 2013. But at some point, we needed more stuff than he owns. And it started becoming impractical to bring it all the way from Stockholm. So we looked at Roskilde rental, which is, comparatively really cheap. Comparing to buy, it's actually not the best of investments. For example, a normal 16 amp cable costs 100 crowns to rent for a week for a 20-meter cable, and it costs around 3,500 to buy. So it needs to be used 35 times for us to kind of make up for the cost to buy it, because it's items with a really long life length. So it's cheap to rent compared to buy.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be fairly the same, but I agree we should look into more solutions. But I'm fairly confident in the one that we already have.
May I suggest that suggestions for how we organize the Borderland next year is sort of like brought into the teal process and for the people who's going to be part of organizing this. And the annual general meeting is focused on the agenda points, which is closing of this year and then looking into other issues. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, one note, just a shout out to Nicholas Padfield, who put together the grid and fixed this with the rental, and also custom built some of the solutions we had, also to bring down costs. So, so he did a great job.
We have one question more. Bo is asking about line number 29.
Yeah.
Pre-Handelsbanken international payments.
Yeah, so we switched banks this year, I believe in May. So before that we were using the old Sparbanken Syd, which we had been using from the very beginning of Borderland, and that wasn't really working out for us anymore. So we went to Handelsbanken. So there was a switch of accounts in May, and some of these, all the items, well, not all the items, but all the items relating to international payments to Borderlanders are put under that post, and I've specified in comments like that to Nicole, Boo, and an unknown person. So this is
These green grants that are paid out.
actually, I don't know. Matthias was the one using that account, so I just
So I didn't hear the question.
asking about the
Line number 29.
line 29, 300 point international payments. Like these are opposed that it's the sum of 3 international payments that was done from this Sparbanken account, like between January
To Nicole
and 30th of May.
Yeah, actually, there was dream grants from the year before, made after the in this year.
Maybe we can add that.
Made after this year.
Okay. Any other questions around that?
Conrad.
You, Conrad.
Okay. Are we next? What's going on?
The auditor's report.
You want to read that? Zach isn't here, so.
Yeah, so this is maybe, if I could get some help from Matthias to get some order into this section here.
All right. Yeah.
Konstpaus.
Everybody make art.
Yeah.
Hello, do you guys hear me? Everybody make art. Hello, do you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hello, do you guys hear me? Hello, do you hear me? Okay, the Hangout, the link to the Hangout is not in the Borderland page.
Okay, yes, so actually it's not a ready auditor's report, it's a work in process. So what you see here is the exchange of communication between Matthias' comments on Zach, who's the auditor's response to what he has taken part of so far.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. So basically, I can read out what he says.
Yeah.
So what Zach says, when I look at the financial statements, I think Hampus has made a great job. I had a few comments. Move the debt payment to Matthias 2016-11-28 from results stage to balance under section liabilities, because this doesn't affect the result statement. Move also the container gate loan to liabilities. And then Matthias' comments to that is, does anyone have the financial statement for 2015? I'm assuming since income and expenditures are done in rhythm with the event, the characterization of the 2015 ought to be necessary, or, okay. Then, so that's like a work in progress, let's say. And then the other comment Zach had is, my comment is, I've added the financial statement for 2015, but
No. This is actually because it's the mic, the whole mic comment section, but that's actually Zach continues. So this is a bit mixed up.
I in the very beginning, I have now added the Zach's email after I have gone through the accounting that Hampus had done, and also the fiscal report. This is his comments, and the comments below is actually my comments on Zach's report.
yeah.
So
Okay.
this is what we have today. Zach, and he thinks that Hampus have made a good job, and he has on expenditures. We bought a few things like phones and walkie-talkies to the association this year,
And pipeline.
and fire blankets. He asked us to put up these assets into the balance sheet, and our comment to that is that it's still pretty small sum, so we don't need to put it in the balance sheets as assets, so we can just put it in the result report. I think that's good. He also asked us for the payoff date, Tainer Gate loan. I think that's really good that we need to clean up that loan, and because to be done as soon as possible. So to clean out that from the balance sheet.
Well, speak more about this, but it's basically it's they money to the board account for their share of the container that they own, but that the Borderland has not paid for.
I know that it's one of the thin caps that need to pay the bill.
I've repeatedly asked for account information and haven't gotten. So that's why I haven't paid.
Otherwise, I added that in.
Okay, so wait for as a suggestion for wait. Okay, this suggestion is that we set a date to, shall we just say 18th of December?
I think that's proper.
Yeah, 18th of December for Christian to make sure that this situation is solved and all the camps has paid to the Borderland account.
What's one, Christian?
Christian?
Yes.
Okay. So we just put it in there, or just as a decision. Do we need to vote about this, or
We can
we? There's a majority in the. Yeah. Okay. Great.
I would love Hampus to tell me who, like on email, tell me who hasn't paid yet. But anyway, I'll tell you now.
Nobody has their account information, and
Nobody is paid.
Ah, great.
okay. Great. Next.
There was one more comment from Zach, the auditor. He thought that it'd be good to have a more detailed information on what projects that was granted last year, because this is some. It's almost 4,000 Swedish. So to this added of all the projects that was granted last year.
I have that list already.
But yeah, sorry, but you do that last part. You were lacking and slacking and freezing up. Can you start again? We didn't hear what you said.
Okay. The last comment Zach had was that he wanted more detailed information on Dream, because it was some 430,000 Swedish kronor that was paid out as green grants, and he thought it was proper to have a list of all projects that was granted last year. So we will add an appendix with this list to the annual report.
I've just added the link now into the document. There's a link to a spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet, which has, it's called the Dream Grants Payout document, and it's a document where I added each and every payout as they happened through the year. So you can have there the date, and the name of the contact person who owns the project, and the name of the project, and the sum.
Great.
So it's added there.
Okay. Excellent. Next agenda point. Or is there any more questions about this? Okay. Discharge of last year's board. I don't know what we need to do here. We're just like we're leaving.
Oh, no. So the AGM has to approve that we have done our job within the requirements of the law and the bylaws, and grant us, the approval of our job. So that's up to a vote. I guess we could say if anyone has any objections, they should be brought up.
And I can make a comment on that. The auditor's job is actually to be the representative for all the members of the association. So when Zach had gone through the financial report and so on, he knows that he's working on the assignment from the members, not from the board. But he recommend us to recommend the AGM to the charge of last year's board after his we have considered his comments on the financial report.
Okay, so the auditor, vad heter det? Like, what's the name of this? Like frihetsberövning or whatever.
Discharge.
Discharge. Okay. So the auditor recommends that the board is given discharge.
His discharge is discharge.
Charged.
The overall liabilities.
Well, granted, like
We're good.
discharged. As soon as comments have been addressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else that have?
Any comments regarding this? Okay.
Copenhagen.
People are saying we are all good.
Okay. So do we need to? Well, no. So
Let's just go.
we just have a decision here that
Yeah, the board was discharged.
the board was discharged. Successfully discharged. Approved discharged. Do you know? Well, do you know like the formal term of like being
Just keep
discharged?
going the meeting. It's a word.
Board did their job. Did it.
Okay,
As the
then we
source
go
would
to
be.
the next point, which is election of the board for this year. And here's a link to honorably. Okay.
Honorably discharged.
Okay. Okay. So, agenda point number 7, election of the board for this year. Presentation from the nomination committee. And I would like to, I've put in a link to Christoph's Facebook post here. Christoph, would you like to present
Squeeze in here?
what do you think we're doing?
And you can turn the computer a bit.
So yeah, hello everyone. Basically, I just received a message from Peter asking me if I could take care of this presentation. So Peter and I were the nomination committee this year. We tried to gather applications for nomination committee, for next year's nomination committee, and process them and make a proposal for a new team. So as Isadora mentioned, I wrote a detailed proposition for a new team, and we got comments. Thank you for that. And I think maybe some more people who are present at the AGM right now could have more comments, or maybe things have evolved in the meantime. I don't know myself, but maybe some people are.
It would be good if you read it out. If you could just read out some of it.
So yeah, I can talk a little bit more detail about the composition. Among this proposal, we have 6 returning members, which is Brooks, Isadora, Gustav, Christian, Matthias, and Hampus. So that means that among the current board members who had applied again, they would be in that proposal two who would not be in the list of returning members, which is Jan here and Ulrika. So this 6 would be to have a solid base and driving force to continue the work started after this summer to make the Borderland a safer place of expression in all the meanings of that phrase. Members ensures the continuity in that work. For the remaining 3 members in our proposal, we selected younger members of our community, Jacob, Louis, Anna, and Anna Lindgren, who are all of them below 30 years old. Then we have 3 paragraphs presenting these 3 people and their contribution so far to Borderland. And I just want to say that the reason why we chose Jacob, Luis, and Anna is that we want to give room for a younger generation to participate in the Borderland leadership. That their involvement as board members could also inspire other young people to get involved in creating the future Borderland. And finally, we see it as an opportunity for Jacob, Luis, and Anna to develop their leadership skills in a troubled world of ever-increasing challenges and uncertainty. As we witness more than ever, we need the next generation to spread far and wide some new values for human society, and the values shared by our community have a role to play. And then we also wanted to suggest a few positions, but mainly our suggestion would be to have, if this composition is voted, or to have books for chairman, and the rest is maybe could be self-managed by the new board. But yeah, so this is just a proposal. I think it's a good one, but there could be a better one for sure. Maybe things have evolved in the meantime since we made this proposal, especially because we had discussion with both Ulrika and Jan, including I think was last weekend over Hangout, right? So yeah, that's about it on the presentation of this proposal, and we'll see how it goes from here.
Do we have more than one proposal?
We as of now, we don't have any nominations that have come in. I checked the email, and no other nominations have come in. So unless well, I guess it's open to the floor if anyone wants to make any other nominations for the board. Otherwise, we stand with only one proposal.
I think it's good to comment as well that according to the bylaws, the board has to be between 5 and 9 people. And the proposal that the nomination committee have made is 9 people.
Yeah, that's an important point. So it means that that was one of the reasons why we couldn't have everyone who wanted to be on the board end up being in the proposal.
So I missed. Have we clarified what's your nomination for chairman of the board, secretary, and treasurer? Because those are the named positions according to the bylaws.
So part of the proposal is a suggestion for these 3 positions, with Brooks being chairman, Isadora being secretary, and Hampus being treasurer.
I don't want to be secretary.
Okay,
I haven't applied for it.
that's fine. Just to say.
Also, I just have 2 comments. Yeah, no, I have 2 comments. One is that gender balance, I think, is interesting here, and yeah, something to bear in mind. I think it's interesting with the age diversity that you're thinking about, and I also like very much how you phrase the thing. However, like, my personal intention is to sort of disengage as much as possible from the board, and I would be, if there's someone who's willing to, who's very eager to get onto the board but wasn't in here, I'm willing to step away and like offer my, I want to be involved in the Borderland and offer my learnings, but I don't necessarily need to be involved in the board. However, in regards to gender balance, it might make sense that I'm still there. So yeah.
I think it's very unfortunate that we are decreasing from 3 women on the board to 2 women on the board. I think that's I don't have another recommendation, but I kind of want to bring that up and say that that's really not what I was hoping for.
Okay. So, can I add that I miss some Finns on the board as well. I think we have a growing Finnish part of our community, and there's some really good people from Finland who came to Borderland both last year and this year, and they contributed a lot. And I think one thing I find really inspirational with Borderland is the fact that it's sort of a border, not borderless, but like it's a Scandinavian rather than a Swedish thing. And I think that's something we should build onto and add on to rather than go away from. So anything, I would love to have seen some Finnish people on board. And
I have a comment on that.
Speaking about, I haven't talked to a person, but like someone like Cooley, for example, would match both the gender and the sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little bit too late of a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
But just adding it
Yeah.
For future reference.
I wanted to comment that we have reached to pretty much everyone who was part of the Port of Entropy camp, but none of them really were available.
Okay,
But we have reached for them.
Just a question. So Hampus' suggestion, the treasurer, right? You wanted to be the treasurer, right? Was there anyone else who wanted? No. So then that's pretty clear. Then the question is remains the secretary.
Okay, I have a comment, or a couple of comments.
Can sort it out
The
later.
board can sort out is okay.
Exactly, that was my first
So-
comment. I can put another couple of comments.
Okay.
I think there are many agendas to be balanced in putting together a group like this, like skills, gender, geography, all kinds of things. And I feel that on who actually wanted to be a part of the board, I think the balance is pretty much great. And then it would be just great to for next year that everybody who has I don't know, some kind of eager to have a more balanced board in some area, that they beforehand, I don't know, put out that that debate, that discussion, so we have it before where we are now next year.
Yeah, also maybe just to mention that by transitioning into the steel organization, the sort of idea is to turn the board more into a bureau of bureaucracy, where we just do the boring shit, and the sort of operational, actually really co-organizing the event takes place in other roles. So do you want to say something?
That was my third comment. Thank you for putting it out there for me. Love you.
Alex Esser commented on Facebook also and asked, we mentioned teal, but what does that actually mean? It's one buzzword, not necessarily the one we need to use, but for a more formalized way of doing participatory leadership or self-leadership or self-governed organizations. The basic question where it comes from is that if you just remove hierarchies and you remove all the traditional structures of power, and they say we're not going to decide how we decide, then there is this tendency for informal hierarchies to appear, which has been very evident in the Burning Man movement and had been very evident also in the Borderland. Talking about is really taking charge of shaping our own governance structure. How are decisions being made, and talk about how decisions are being made, and continuously try to develop how decisions are being made. Because what we've seen now is that everything is fine unless there's a conflict. But as soon as two people want different things, clarity of how do we decide? And we either revert to authority and ask the board, or we revert to democracy and have a fucking vote. and neither of them are optimal for our community. So we need to find more like, this is the way we make decisions in this organization. And then that also gives clarity to, so when a decision is being made, people know, oh, this is how this got decided. So it's a way to formalize in which way the community can control the organization. And in this, it means disempowering the board and moving authority away from the board to be able to make decisions, but also not have people ask the board for decisions. And it's not a goal, it's more of a process that we're starting on now.
And there's a weekend that can be joined, that was mentioned in the annual report. Okay, can we vote then? No closing nominations. Okay, let's vote. Can we?
We don't have any alternatives to vote. There's
the nomination was accepted.
Yep.
We will need to make a decision.
Okay. Can we decide that
How we do it? Yeah, you can do your noun count. We want to do the clap.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Election of auditors for auditor for this year.
Yeah. So this is also something that the nomination committee works on. I thought that by default I could be the auditor because I didn't want to ask people to be the auditor actually. It's so boring. So it's. Yeah, sorry, I thought you were correct. So my question is anyone who is attending the meeting interested in being the auditor for next year's budget? Or is it this year's budget? Next year's budget. If nobody else, then I suggest I propose myself for doing it, and I ask for if I have the required skills, and it seems that I can do this. So, but is anyone interested in being the auditor for next year?
Nobody in Copenhagen wants that job. Nobody.
So I can be the auditor if everyone's fine with that.
I mean, it's not
Okay.
a good job to do it in one afternoon.
Okay. So. Okay, great. Then we have decided that. Thank you. Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Election of NOMCOM for this year.
Oh, so yeah. So we have several people who are interested in being the nomination committee for next year, and I have sent a message to Ulrika, Gustav, and Isadora about the result of that work. So we have several people.
What are the names?
Let me just check it out. Yes, so we have Casey. I don't know her last name though. But,
Casey. Okay.
Casey, like what's her last name?
Chris
Yeah.
was here. Yeah.
It's
Cassandra.
Cassandra. Paul and
Paul what?
Paul Robson. That's the second of the three, and we have also Conrad Leffler, who is interested. So these are the first. No.
Peter. Mr. Mulvani is also up for another.
Oh no, but I'm just like these are the three that replied the first. On top of that, we have Peter, who is interested in doing this year, as you mentioned, and we have two others who I think could totally do it if the first three sort of cannot do it next November, which are Jesper Leifjord and Oden Lobel. Oden did the Mushroom Forest. So that's the result of our work on who would be interested. We have 3 plus 3. Or
How many people are shooting?
I think being 2 this year was too short, and on top of that, I learned that last year there were 3 people, so I think at least 3 would be.
Yeah. Also, like this year was a fairly simple process, while the process last year included like long video interviews with everyone, because we had a very simple, ready suggestion that most of the board stays just to like make sure that So
I think that this year was too simple. Actually.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and.
Input would be that the more people who are not super involved at the moment, like new people would be good. Like for instance,
I think at Sunrise it would be very good to have her in the nomination committee because she's the only woman in the list, first of all. So.
What's this? What's her name?
So can you ask the nomination committee decide who you nominate? For nomination.
What's her name? Last name?
It's
Tors.
Is it Casey?
It's Casey. No. It's.
Do we need to find that on that?
No. Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, we know. We know what we're talking about. We don't have to stop.
Okay, so what do you suggest? Yeah, exactly. Okay, then exactly. There. Yes. Okay. Great. Yes, I really succumb that.
So my suggestion would be to have Casey, Conrad, and Paul. That's just my suggestion.
On top.
We didn't hear that. Say again. Your suggestion would be?
Okay.
Casey, Conrad, Paul, and Peter.
Yeah, let's have this one.
Okay.
Any other alternatives? Any other nominations from the community?
That's small.
Foreslået de 4 til 4. Så, og nu kan vi så sige, at nogle andre har et andet forslag, så vi kan gøre det.
Okay.
What? Okay. Then.
Yeah. Okay. Decided.
Somebody has a microphone. And,
Okay. Okay, so we just take this out. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, we move on to other issues. Yep, we move on to other issues, and it's a motion from Kate.
Hey.
Hey, Keith.
G'day. How's it going?
Woo!
Congratulations, board. Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
Bring it away. Take it away. Just read out your suggestion.
Sure. What it is that some of the people from the Illitron Collective are interested in possibly bringing the boat over to Borderlands. So then having this additional venue for extra partying and fire cannons and maker space for welding and CNC wood machine, etc., etc. And so it's probably a bit early considering that the board has just come in, but it's so nice to get the conversation rolling and heads up. And so I guess the question and request is if this is something that the Borderlands would like. And which I guess is more up to the people, but then also how might we go about in terms of infrastructure, mostly for mooring, this sort of challenge in terms of communication with whoever is the local liaison, Bodicel, the sort of like starting this conversation, how we might work out if it's viable and what's involved. Yeah. Ting.
Søren said something about that there might be an issue about the protection of the clint of the cliff.
Of course, yeah.
That's not up to us to decide, but we just need to get that as soon as possible, so we know that it's possible. But I just want to add that there's also a protection on the cliff where we are doing the music, but we got like a special permit for that. So maybe we can also get a special permit for a boat if we talk to the people
Definitely.
in charge.
I think
Yep.
like
Yeah,
we
that's what I
can go into details, but maybe we can just say we can we bless the initiative, and if you want to look into the research, want to find out the costs involved, like the technical feasibility and so on, then we can continue this discussion.
We're happy to continue the collaboration around making this happen.
I object to this being a question for the ADM. I think that people should do whatever the fuck they want, and we should definitely not bless any project.
No, but it's a figure of speech.
But yeah. I think that following up with Jan, and because Jan is the one who's had the closest connection with the municipality, and maybe and look at the formal requirements if this is at all possible. And then, of course, after that, it's security and clown police and it's grant applications and all that. But kind of see, is there any formal, is it possible at all? But you can do that in a separate process from this meeting.
Yep, no worries. Cool. That's sort of, I guess, in a way, the information needed.
Yeah, I think it just sounds absolutely amazing, and let's just continue the conversations about it. Yes.
Awesome. Woo-hoo! Nice.
So I want to support if I can.
Just one quick, like in terms of lead time, like this sounds like a dream grant project. So it's like, is that enough time for you? Like, can you fit this within that structure?
Well, that's the thing. No, in a way, no, because it's such a major infrastructure sort of thing. And it requires that liaison with the local. That's why. Yeah, and then we can, like, once that's a bit more secure, then we can get on with Dream Grant sort of thing. But it would be good if this was pre-Dream Grant, because and it's additional fundraising from our end as well. So, but yeah, cool. That's an answer. Great, beautiful. Very satisfied this end. Suspect as much. Yay! Great. Woohoo!
Okay, other issues. We have a second motion from Ulrika. It's decision on number of memberships for 2017. I think the way the board decided on the number of memberships last year was a bit hastily. I would like the community to be able to have a say in next year's numbers of memberships somehow. Maybe it could come naturally with Teal, but if not, can we do it some other way so that the community gets more involved in the decision? I know it's something that is very important to a lot of people, both from them who are keen on Borderland growing and them who want to grow more slowly. Suggestion. I suggest for the AGM to decide on how the decision on number of memberships should be made in a way that involves larger part of the community. Can the incoming board agree to figure out a way together with the Teal process for how to start an early process on how to make sure that we're more inclusive in this dialogue with the around the membership number? Yeah.
So it's passed to the next board, but with the instruction that they have to seek advice from more parts of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I just want to put one comment that in the end, the board is the legal responsible for the event of participants, like regarding if we are ready or not ready with safety and stuff like that. I'm just saying that I personally want to move it out to the Teal process, but I just also want to make it clear that if I'm legally responsible for something, and I don't feel that we're ready for it for a certain amount of members, like the board can step in and say, well, we can't take that responsibility, just so it's said.
Yeah, or you can leave the board.
You agree, and it's duly noted, and it ties into with the whole stakeholder aspect of Teal. Like you put the power where the stakeholders, and of course the people with the legal responsibility would be more of a stakeholder than anyone who just happens to pass by.
Yeah, and there's also other aspects like whether we're going to be a regional event next year and how that is influenced by the accident we had, etc. Okay, Cool. Yes, that is it. Any other business? Any other motion to the AGM? How wonderful. We did it in an hour. I would like to consider the meeting closed.
Wow.
Love to you.
That was nice.
Or worse.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
And we are off.